They're the moment that completely shocks the narcissist. And it's not when you argue with them, cry over them, or beg them to change. It's the moment you go emotionally quiet. The moment they realize you're no longer chasing, explaining, proving, or fighting for their attention. That silence hits them harder than most people understand. Because to someone obsessed with control, losing access to you feels like losing power over a part of their world. And here's the part many people don't see coming. Even if they acted like they didn't care, even if they were cold, distant, or already moving on, the second they realize you're truly done, something shifts inside them. Not necessarily love, not necessarily regret in the healthy way people hope for. It's more about the fact that they no longer control the connection. Most narcissistic people struggle deeply with losing influence over someone they once had emotional access to. Even if they no longer wanted the relationship itself, they still wanted the option. They still wanted the door open. And when that door closes because you closed it, they often experience it as a personal wound to their ego. That's why so many of them react in intense, confusing, or dramatic ways after you finally detach. Some become angry almost immediately. Suddenly, the person who ignored your feelings for months now has endless energy to contact you, criticize you, or provoke a reaction. It can feel confusing because you start wondering if they cared this much now. Why didn't they care when I was hurting? But what you're often witnessing is not emotional accountability. It's panic over losing control of the narrative and losing access to the emotional validation they once received from you. Others respond through manipulation. They may suddenly tell you that you're overreacting, that nobody else will understand you the way they did, or that you're making a huge mistake. They know your fears. They know your insecurities. And sometimes they use those vulnerable areas to make you doubt your decision. They want confusion because confusion keeps the connection alive. Then there's the victim act. This one catches many people off guard. Somehow the story gets flipped and suddenly they become the wounded one. They may tell mutual friends that you abandoned them, mistreated them, or changed. And if you're an empathetic person, guilt can start pulling at you. You begin questioning yourself instead of remembering everything you endured quietly for so long. Some go even further and try to damage your confidence directly. They may insult your appearance, your personality, your worth, or your future without them. Sometimes they bring other people into it. Sometimes they post things online designed to get your attention. Sometimes they suddenly appear happier, louder, more confident than ever before. But a lot of that behavior is performance. It's designed to make you question your decision and emotionally reattach. And then comes one of the most confusing stages of all, the sudden affection, the flowers, the long messages, the promises, the emotional speeches. The version of them you begged to see months ago suddenly appears out of nowhere. They say everything you once hoped they would say. They become attentive, romantic, emotional, even vulnerable. And for a moment, you may think maybe they finally understand. But real change is consistent. Real growth takes accountability, patience, humility, and long-term effort. Temporary intensity is not the same thing as transformation. That's why it's so important not to make life-changing decisions based on who they become the moment they feel you slipping away. A person who truly values you does not wait until they lose you to suddenly start treating you with care. And this is the part one really want you to hear today. When a narcissistic person realizes they've lost you, their reactions often reveal more about their need for control than their capacity for love. That's why your healing becomes so powerful. Because once you stop reacting emotionally to every tactic, once you start seeing the patterns clearly, their influence over you begins to weaken. Your silence becomes strength. Your boundaries become clarity. And your detachment becomes the one thing they cannot manipulate anymore. So if you've been questioning yourself lately, if you've been wondering why they suddenly changed after you walked away, take a breath and look at the bigger picture. Don't just listen to words. Watch patterns. Watch consistency. Watch actions over time. Because the moment you finally choose your peace over their chaos, that is the moment the control truly starts to break. And if this message spoke to something you've been feeling deep down, stay connected with TF. Like the video, subscribe, and keep watching, because understanding these patterns can help you protect your peace, rebuild your confidence, and finally see the situation for what it really was. This content is created for educational and awareness purposes only and is not intended to diagnose or label anyone. If you're struggling with emotional distress or relationship challenges, consider reaching out to a qualified mental health professional for support.